Hello, everyone. Good day, friends out there. This is Sean, the Blessed Breast Cancer Guy. And today's topic I want to talk about is I'd like to give an update on my last oncologist appointment, treatments, and the biomarker test that came back. And I also want to review what cancer people go through when they're waiting on results. And I have improved over the years due to my faith that going in after I've gone through the testing and I'm waiting to talk to the oncologist, which sometimes in this last case took 3 weeks from my biomarker testing. And a biomarker is a test that they perform to see if you have a cancer gene or if you do have cancer, what the tumor's doing, um, what possible medicines will work to counter what the tumor if it's growing. That's called a biomarker test. It basically takes your DNA, your RNA, your molecules, everything of our chemistry levels that we know very little about, and it works it all up and tells the doctor exactly what the cancer is doing. So I was waiting 3 weeks for it, and went in a week ago last Wednesday, so 9 days ago. This is Friday, and we're status quo. Thank you, Lord. Uh, she wants to wait it out and do another PET scan in 3 months. Uh, it's not growing anymore. It's grown to 2 millimeters since my last. And so she does have a medicine waiting for me in the event this next test in 3 months or 4 months comes back that we need to go a different route. Uh, but it's still going to be oral. It's just the type of med she doesn't want to put me on because she wants to wait for my body to build the tolerance to the current um, meds and treatment plan she has me on, which is the Ibrance 21 days on, 7 days off. That's a breast cancer drug, preventative. And I guess to keep it in check, not to prevent it at this point. But and then there is I do the Zometa once a month. I get an IV and I get a Flossadex, I think it is, and then I get the injections in the rear end of one of them's the IV and the other one's the injections. And I got to say, this last set of injections in each hip took me down. I made it Thursday of last week. Okay. Went to the gym and thought, why am I fatigued? And I realized, oh, idiot, you just had a treatment yesterday. You're not supposed to be in the gym for 2 or 3 days because it does drop my immune system. On top of it, I was catching a cold, which is why I'm a little scratchy. But, you know, I'm now getting them past that. She just now, I gave up and called her and said, listen, this cold's not doing, going where it needs to go in time. So, and she always, my oncologist is a female, and she wants to always know what what's going on, so we don't prolong anything, which makes sense. Um, so so basically, we're at status quo. Nothing's going to change. But I tell you, I felt pretty lousy the last week. I did make it Sunday. I preached a message that I will air tomorrow night. It's a two-parter, so I didn't want to air it last week and then wait a week and then air it again. I want to do it so those in the Philippines can have it Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, and then in the U.S. can have it for Sunday if you don't attend a church or if you just want to watch it. It's on Romans, and I think it's a pretty good message. I do apologize in advance as I shut my mic off, and when I do that, it mutes everything. So the praise and worship was muted. So if you'll fast forward to that, you'll get to the message. Maybe I'll have my virtual assistant and nephew in the Philippines edit that for me. But it's his weekend now, so I don't want to bother him with it. So I'll put a little disclaimer out there when I post that tomorrow night. So with that, I wanted to let everybody know we're status quo. We're doing good. Through the grace of God, we're continuing down this same path. But I also want to discuss um, what it's like when we're waiting for these results. Um, Maybe your loved one's irritable. You don't know why. They're not saying, the enemy, which is Satan, he'll wreak havoc in your brain if we let him. I've been around, Christianity for 40 years. Like I mentioned, I put God on the shelf and brought him back, and uh, um, which was wrong. I should have just kept him in my life, and I probably would be in a lot better position. But he has his reasons, and um, he's using me now for his purpose, and I'm fine with that. So I go through this illness and for the benefit of others, so they learn and hopefully start a relationship with him because it's never too late. Uh, you can have the peace I have because I know what it's like going into having something checked years ago, worrying till now, going in or waiting for the results. To say it, you don't think about it, I wouldn't be telling you the truth because you do. It pops into your mind. Is this going to be the one that takes me down? Is this the one that she's going to say it's moved into your organ, this or that, and we can't do anything? But I don't think that. I really try to, if it pops, it does pop in, I pop it out. I don't allow it to stay in there because, as I said in previous messages, that Satan wins if I let this get me down. It's bad enough this last week I felt kind of lousy with the cold and flu, but I preached the message last Sunday. I made it to church Wednesday. I didn't make it to men's group, which I'm sporting it, my men's group shirt today. I didn't make it last night. I just was not feeling good. So I started a Z pack, Zithromax. So it should be knocking me out of this here soon, hopefully. But people, we wait and we wait and we wait, and you just don't know. You don't know what that's going to happen, what she's going to say, what your doctor's going to tell you. Is it the bad news? Is it the good news? But I want to read you some scriptures because I always feel that I need to get God out there because, man, I tell everybody, if you're doing this race without God and you have cancer or anything wrong, you're a strong person if you're not letting it bother you because the enemy wants to creep in there. But in Luke chapter 12, verse 26, it says, if then you cannot do even a very little thing, why do you worry about other matters? Once again, if I worry about it before I go in, is it going to control the outcome? No. How about Philippians 4:6? Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your request be made known to God. Oh, I pray to God. I pray to God for peace. I pray for pain to go away. It's never too late. Never too late to come to God. And don't think you got such an ego that, oh, I just don't want to come to God because I'm sick, or I just don't want to come to God because of whatever reasons. He's there with arms wide open waiting for us. And he knows we're knuckleheads. He knows you know, we live in a sinning world. But I guarantee you, the more you go to him, the more you practice your faith, um, read YouTube, you can find anything now. If you're slow to, you don't like reading, read a scripture and then go to YouTube and ask about it, or go to DuckDuckGo and ask about it. I like using DuckDuckGo because Google has taken God out of a lot of things and wants to use self-help stuff because that's what people want. They don't want God. He's being pulled from everything, so we need to keep him in everything. In Luke 12, verse 22. And he said to his disciples, for this reason I say to you, do not worry about your life as to what you will eat, nor for your body as to what you will put on. There's so many about worrying and staying away from worrying. Let's do a couple more. First Peter chapter 5, verse 7. Casting all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. You're not going to find anyone else in this world that cares for you like God. Your spouse will let you down. You'll let your spouse down. Your children will let you down. You'll let your children down. Same way with grandchildren. Same way with friends. Church family. It happens. God will not let you down. You just got to reach out there for him. Let's do this last one is Matthew 6:30. But if God so clothes the grass of the field, which is alive today and tomorrow, is thrown into the furnace, he will not much more clothe you, you of little faith. So what they're saying there is, God's going to make the grass green. He's going to let it die. He's going to keep us going. Have faith in him. He will keep us going. We don't have to worry for tomorrow. Tomorrow's got enough worries on its own. So when you're waiting the results and the enemy pops in and says, you're going to die, you're not worthy, you're going to let your family down, it all pops in. Pray it out. Pray them right out. Because at the end of the day, God wins. Trust me, in the last 10 years, I've been really studying prophecy, and more the last 5 years. And just before I was diagnosed with cancer, I was in my men's group up in Indiana, and I confided in them that I had a difficult time reading the book of Revelation because it's harsh. It spells out, God's wrath on us. And fortunately, if you're born again Christian, you won't have to worry about the part of the 7-year tribulation, because we'll be raptured out of here when he's tired of all this. So you don't want to be left behind. God will give you the peace to get through life. You just have to ask him. So I wanted to share this with you. My medical's going good. Want to feel a little bit better with this cold and congestion, but Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say, and I'll get past this. I've had worse illnesses. So with that, I don't want to dwell on it. You've got scriptures, you have God, and you don't have to fight this battle alone. We don't. So as you're waiting your results, pray to God. If you want to learn how to be a believer, and you can message me at breastcancerguy@gmail.com, and or leave a comment here, and we'll have dialogue offline. There's no embarrassment. Make sure you're there so you can have the peace when the time comes to go through anything. You won't be going to God because you're hurting. You're going to already be there. And that's my goal for everyone. That's why I want to get the message out. That's why I feel that he's pushed me and convicted me to get this out, because like I've said all along, doing these is not something that I've wanted to do, although I enjoy talking about God. So that's why he's the focal point in all this. So you have it down. Don't want to take any more of your time. I thank you for viewing, and God bless you all, and keep the faith. Love you all. Take care of yourself. Till next time, be watching out for my part 1 message tomorrow night. Saturday night, I'll launch it, and we'll get it out there for you. And hopefully, part 2, I think, is going to be better than part 1. I've formatted that already, but I decided to break it into 2 parts because I didn't want it to go real long with the Vietnamese translation. So with that, thank you for it once again. Part 2 will have, my ADD's kicking in. Part 2 will have some slides that'll go hand in hand with everything I've talked about in part 1 and part 2 of my Romans message. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow night. Once again, love you all. Sean, Blessed Breast Cancer Guy, is out. Thank you, friends.